So good evening, folks, and welcome to this branch event on the benefits of CIPD membership. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Judith MacDonald. I'm the past branch chair, and I'm now a committee member for the North of Scotland and Islands branch of the CIPD. I know we have a mix of members and non-members attending this evening, and my plan is to take you through a range of benefits that can be accessed if you become or remain a CIPD member. If I could get the flipping slides to move on, that would be progress. There we go. The CIPD is a professional body for HR and people development. The registered charity champions better work and working lives and has been setting the benchmark for excellence in people and organisation development for more than 100 years. As a community of more than 150,000 members across the world, and provides thought leadership through independent research on the world of work, and offers professional training and accreditation for those working in HR and learning and development. We've offices in the UK. The head office is in Wimbledon, also in Ireland, in the Middle East and in Asia even. And we work hard to ensure our members feel part of a community where they can be guided, supported and inspired by other professionals, as well as having the opportunities to give back to their profession. We're lucky to have a network of more than 5,000 volunteers to help us do this through peer-to-peer mentoring, local learning and networking events, and social impact programmes that champion better work and working lives in the wider community. CIPD membership is recognised worldwide as a commitment to professional standards. Whether you're an employee, a consultant or self-employed, new to the profession or an experienced people director, your membership showcases your level of knowledge and impact within the people profession. As a member of the CIPD, you can use the relevant designation after your name on LinkedIn, your CV and online. As your career progresses, make sure that your grade accurately displays your level of knowledge and capability. The upgrading and experience assessment pages on the CIPD website have lots of information on how you can do this, including the criteria for each grade of membership. You can use the online tool to help you find out what's the best way to get to the next membership grade. And based on your answers, this quick and easy tool will display the most relevant option to you. If you're signed up, if you're already a member and you're signed up for our branch newsletter, there was actually an article in the last newsletter. One of my colleagues, Manju, recently upgraded from chartered member to chartered fellow, and she explains a bit about the process that she went through to do that. So that's worth a read as well. I've split the presentation into 5 different areas and we'll cover each in turn. As I said, I know we have a mix of members and non-members tonight and also a range of levels of membership. Depending on the stage of your career, some of these benefits may be more or less applicable to you. So the first one we're going to look at is supporting you in your work and studies. I should say, actually, if you've got any questions, stop me. And just ask me at the time. It's probably easier than keeping them to the end, although we will do a mop-up session at the end. But if you've got any questions as we're going through, just stop me and I'll do my very best to answer them. So your CIPD membership gives you access to a wealth of content, resources and guides to help you in your work and studies. The Knowledge Hub is the main repository for all CIPD content on our website. We publish all content here to help you stay informed and keep your knowledge of the profession up to date. In the Knowledge Hub, you'll find fact sheets, CIPD research and guides and reports, past and present, podcasts and webinars. You'll also get access to the EBSCO journal database, where you can access over 200 leading journal and magazine titles, as well as company and industry profiles, which can be used to help support your job search and prepare for interviews. And if any of my students, I don't know if I've got any of my students on tonight, but they're very familiar with that in terms of using it for sources, for references. You can make sure you stay up to date with our regular e-newsletters, especially the CIPD Update, which is a weekly e-newsletter to all members. In here, you'll find out our latest research, fact sheets, content, and other updates and activities from CIPD and the world of work. If you log into your web account and select which newsletters you want to opt into and manage your People Management magazine mailing, and it's important that you do opt into newsletters as without doing so, you won't automatically receive them. And this goes for our branch newsletter too, that comes out on a monthly basis. And I'll talk a wee bit more about that later on. We've created specific hubs for key topics within the profession. The hubs contain guidance and resources to help members address these particular issues in their workplace. Within each hub, you'll find guides, questions and answers, podcasts, webinars, and more. And these hubs are regularly updated to ensure they contain the most up-to-date and relevant information. You might have noticed, if you're not a member, and you did have access to the coronavirus hub, and CIPD took the decision that for the benefit of everybody, given that the pandemic was totally unprecedented in all of our working lives. It was a bit like, I don't know if you know that Volvo originally invented the seatbelt, and they decided that because it was such a game changer in terms of saving people's lives, they wouldn't patent it, so that all car manufacturers could use seatbelts basically to save lives. And it's maybe not quite in the same level, but the CIPD took the decision that the coronavirus hub would actually be open to non-members. But most of the rest of the content that I'm speaking about tonight, you have to be a member to access it. As a CIPD member, you also have access to a range of different helplines. The employment law helpline provides guidance on all aspects of UK employment law, and it's available 24/7. Whether you need clarification or want to talk through a situation, the helpline's available for a quick check or second opinion on legal issues. Topics often covered include dismissal, discrimination, redundancy, and new and impending legislation. And members receive 20 free calls a year, or 25 if you hold chartered status. You can also receive confidential one-to-one advice on personal difficulties affecting you at work, such as redundancy or contract of employment, via the personal legal helpline. And lines again are open 24/7, and CIPD members receive 1 free call a year. We're also partnered with Protect, which is the whistleblowing charity and leading authority in the field, to bring you an expert helpline to help you handle any whistleblowing concerns you are made aware of. Calls are free, and in this instance, there's no limit to the number of calls you can make to the whistleblowing helpline. As a member, you'll be kept up to date with People Management magazine, which is published 10 times a year and posted to all members. People Management is an informative and engaging magazine, and includes news, features, event reviews, and the latest industry statistics, legal updates, and practical advice to help you stay connected with what's going on in the industry. People Management is also available online, and you can opt to receive the PM daily email newsletter to help you keep up to date with the latest news from the profession. CIPD members also get access to PM Jobs, which is the official job site for the CIPD. You can search for your next role by categories such as specialism, sector, and job level, and you'll also receive job alerts and can access career advice on the website. If you're a chartered fellow, you'll also receive Work magazine, which is a quarterly strategic thought leadership journal filled with insightful articles, interviews, and debriefs on the latest research and reports throughout the business world and across a breadth of industries. The CIPD Student Hub acts as a shop window for all the resources available to help support CIPD students before, during, and after their studies and beyond. You'll find frequently asked questions to help you before, during, and after your studies, plus practical tools, including CIPD member-only employment law updates for tutors and students, written by the CIPD Chief Examiner. And you'll get member-only study guides providing tips for studying, writing essays or business reports, and taking exams. Plus, you can download past papers and examiner reports for the Advanced Level 7 award, CIPD qualification, and much more. So it's a wealth of resources, and certainly, I mean, I tap into a small part of these, but it actually is quite mind-blowing when you see how much is there. So moving on to looking at supporting you in your career. profession map sets the international benchmark for the people profession. You can use it to make better decisions, act with confidence, perform at your peak, drive change in your organisation, and progress in your career. The map provides the foundation to help move the profession forward individually and collectively, and to embrace change in the modern world of work. Use it to benchmark your knowledge, behaviours, and values against the new global industry standard. The map identifies 4 different impact levels and details the knowledge and behaviours required to excel at each of them. This means you can see exactly what it takes to make a positive contribution, whether you're a senior leader, a dedicated specialist, or just starting out in the field. In the 2018 member survey, members told us they wanted more content to help further their understanding on and apply the new profession map as it was in their day-to-day roles. And we've listened and we've produced this cutting-edge learning content designed in consultation with thought leaders in the people profession. It's exclusive, member-only content, easy to access anytime, anywhere, which explores the 8 core behaviours of the profession map in detail, bringing each behaviour to life and providing you with an opportunity to start reflecting on where you're at against these behaviours. You can use the content as part of your self-directed learning journey to support your professional development, and you can engage with the content, embed the practice, and thrive in the changing world of work. And this is just the first step. We're working on a comprehensive series of learning content based on the map and housed in a dedicated learning platform designed to support people professionals throughout their career. And a lot of that is actually now available. There's a lot of learning content that's available to members to support you against comparing yourself against the profession map. As a CIPD member, you have access to the CIPD Career Hub. Our Career Hub offers access to a range of career tools, including a CV builder and CV scoring tool, personal development planner, and interview simulator. There's a range of assessments that you can take on resilience, motivation, and personality, plus e-learning resources to guide you through critical areas such as coping with change and aiming for a promotion. We've also developed microsites tailored to members with specific career needs, such as back to work support, students, consultants, and career tools for experienced professionals. Within the Career Hub, you'll find Interview 360, which includes a large and comprehensive library of the most commonly asked interview questions, along with the key points to help you answer them. There's also a range of mock interviews you can take to test your ability to come up with strong, confident, well thought through answers under time pressure. You'll get instant feedback and advice, and every question you answer will make you a stronger candidate. You'll also find the CV 360 tool, which scores your CV against more than 50 checks that commonly trip up an applicant tracking system or get your CV deprioritized. So by using that, you're giving yourself the best chance to get through the initial screening. You get instant detailed feedback so you can optimize your CV and significantly boost your chances of getting to interview. This series of webinars ran in January and February 2021, which seems, well, is a very long time ago, 15, 16 months ago. But they provided expert advice to help identify and achieve the next steps in your career path. They provided advice and practical tips on taking the first steps into the profession, how to progress in the post-pandemic climate. See, back in 2021, we thought we were just post-pandemic then, little did we know. And offer first-hand accounts of how senior members of the profession carved out their own career paths. The webinars also introduced the new CIPD qualifications and explore how they can take your career to the next level. And the reason I'm telling you about these is these are available on demand and they're still available today and very much worth a look at. The website also contains lots of career support pages, including information on the different career options within the profession, and case studies from members working in various HR specialisms. There are also dedicated pages offering tips and advice to anyone managing a career break or are looking for back to work support, as well as a section specifically for the self-employed and those looking to become their own boss. So now we're going to look at growing your network. We have a thriving network of over 50 local branches that are run by CIPD members volunteering their spare time, skills, talent and experience all across the UK. They run a portfolio of events, programmes and activities dedicated to engaging and supporting local CIPD members, non-members and students. You can find your local branch by using our interactive map on our website and see what events and activities they have lined up. As a CIPD member, you can join any branch event that you wish, whether it's local to where you live, where you work, or you want to pop in whilst passing through the area. And the big advantage during the pandemic was obviously that everything was online and it was much easier to join branch events all over the UK. And we frequently had members from as far afield as the South Coast. And I certainly joined several different branch sessions. Although I think the furthest one away I attended was Wiltshire, but it was great to be able to do that. And branch events to some extent will still happen online, so there still will be that opportunity to do that. Branch events are a brilliant opportunity to network face to face with like-minded professionals. As I said, during the pandemic, branch events moved online, which meant that there was more variety. And certainly a vast increased number of events that we could attend. Our CIPD Community Forum has been running for 15 years and receives over 40,000 visits each year. There are a range of discussion groups, including GDPR, employment law, and the Careers Clinic. The forum also has a group called Workplace Dilemmas in Confidence, which allows you to post anonymously. This is a great space to share confidential dilemmas with a wide range of peers and get a second opinion on sensitive issues you may be handling at work. And that's particularly useful, I think, if you're in a standalone position and you don't have anyone else to bounce off. Here's what I'm thinking of doing. So that is a really useful resource. As a member, you can take part in one of our many volunteering schemes, such as volunteering at your local branch, and I'll come on to that in a moment, or taking part in one of the many mentoring schemes, such as our Steps Ahead mentoring, which helps young job seekers find work. You could volunteer to help schools or colleges by pledging an hour a year to help run workshops on topics such as CV writing and interview skills through Inspiring the Future workshops, or contact your local school to arrange a visit and talk to pupils about careers in the people profession. These are just a number of the volunteering, or a few rather, of the volunteering schemes available to you. And you can find out more and register your interest on the CIPD website. In recent months, CIPD Scotland has restarted and created a number of networks that are available to members. These networks cover the broad spectrum of HR roles and are designed for all HR professionals to meet and engage with other like-minded individuals. There are 7 networks in total, most of which are self-explanatory, and you're welcome to go to more than one. If, for example, you're an independent practitioner working in organisational development, you could go to the independent, the organisational development and the L&D networks. I've been just in the last couple of weeks at both the L&D and the OD networks. It was great to see people face to face. Both events were really good. They were really well attended. My only criticism of them was they were both in the Central Belt. And I did say, I was in each case, I was the only person from Aberdeen that was attending. And I did point out that, you know, Dundee or Perth would be a better midpoint venue rather than having to always go to Glasgow or Edinburgh. It meant everybody would be travelling the same. So hopefully that feedback will be taken on board. If you're wanting more information on any of these networks, then your point of contact is Susan Heyman, who's the Members, Networks and Communities Managers manager, I beg your pardon, for Northern Ireland and Scotland, and her email is there on the screen. So let me talk a little bit about our branch now. The North of Scotland and Islands branch has approximately 1,800 members, stretching from Aberdeen, north to the Shetland Isles and west to the Outer Hebrides. So basically all of the pale blue and green sections at the top of the map. Just to give you that's a point of reference, I did a presentation a few years ago. It was before the pandemic, so it must have been December 2019 at the CIPD annual meeting. And I was asked to present on our branch and what we did in the digital space. And at that same event, there was a chap called Nick Wedderburn, who was at that point, he was chair for one of the Midlands branches. And we had roughly the same number of members, and his branch covered an 8-mile radius. And I don't actually know what our area would be, but significantly more. But that was we have roughly the same number of members, but obviously we are much more geographically spread out. Our population hubs are Aberdeen and Inverness, and this is where we've traditionally held our face-to-face events. As with everything else, COVID-19 changed much of what we did for the last couple of years. And until March 2022, all the events in the previous 2 years had been online. But I'm delighted to tell you that we had our first face-to-face meeting in March for our senior leaders, which was really well attended, with all the available places taken. Our next face-to-face event will be our annual meeting, which is on the 15th of June, and that's at the Jury's Inn at Union Square. And for our new programme starting this September, there'll be roughly a 50-50 split of face-to-face and online events. The format for the event will really be dictated by the content, as some events lend themselves better to being run face-to-face, and some, such as this one, for example, work well online. We also have a social media presence through both Facebook and LinkedIn. You'll find us by searching CIPD North of Scotland and Islands, and on LinkedIn we have both a page and a closed group that you're welcome to join. And at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see our email address. The branch email address is nscotland@cipdbranch.co.uk. And I would say that that's definitely the best email to contact us on. Shona, who's on the call tonight, mans that inbox, and you'll get the fastest response by emailing that email address. So moving on. Looking at supporting your well-being, which has obviously been a massive issue for the last couple of years, and even before the pandemic was a big issue. But in recognition of the increased pressure and personal challenges many of our members might currently be facing, we've launched a new wellbeing helpline for the UK and Ireland. Calls are free and confidential. Phone lines are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you can work through your problems with a qualified therapist accredited by the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, as well as accessing legal information services, debt and financial information, and manager consultancy and support. There are also a range of online resources and wellbeing app that you can download, where you can access webinars, mini health checks, and self-help programs. You can also access a range of CIPD wellbeing content, including guides, reports, fact sheets, and podcasts covering topics such as resilience, managing and supporting employees, experiencing domestic abuse, and supporting employability. Finally, members in specific circumstances can access a reduced membership fee, so they can continue to access our member benefits and support to support their work, careers, and continuing professional development. And in the current climate, we're going to talk about saving money. Certainly in the current climate, with fuel bills rocketing, inflation reaching double figures, and the cost of living increase not seen in almost half a century, who wouldn't want to save a bit of money? As a CIPD member, you've access to exclusive discounts to a number of things, including 50% off HR Inform, 10% off CIPD training and short courses, 10% off events, including the popular annual conference and exhibition and the Festival of Work. And Festival of Work is coming up, I want to say 15th and 16th of June. I'm sure it's the 15th and 16th of June. I've signed up for it. I think that's the dates. You also get 20% off the CIPD textbooks with Kogan Page and competitive professional indemnity insurance, which includes cyber cover, reputation management and hacker damage. And it gives the most competitive deals in the market. And you also get 50% off your first PM jobs recruitment advertising package. So that has been a whistle-stop tour of some of the benefits of being a CIPD member. I mean, I'm a chartered member. So although I've been a member of CIPD, let me think, for 20, I sat my finals when my eldest son was 10 weeks old, and he had his 26th birthday quite recently. So I've been a member for 26 years. And I'm a chartered member because I don't work strategically enough to qualify to be a fellow. So it's not just done on length of service, it's done on the level that you work at. And I don't work at a strategic level. So I've never upgraded to a fellow. But I worked out that my membership a year was the equivalent to a cup of coffee a week, which to me seemed excellent value. And whilst I say I do think that is excellent value, I don't even touch some of these benefits. So, I mean, I think overall it's pretty good value for money. But like I say, that's everything that I have. I'm happy to take any questions if anybody's got one or any. Never.
Hi, Jude.
Hi, Jude. How you doing?
I've just come off the all branch volunteers thing with CIPD Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And just to mention, they're going to be doing some more work on the CIPD website to make it clearer to navigate. So that's always something good.
I think they have done, I mean, it's got better over the last couple of years without a shadow of a doubt. What I tend to do is bookmark things when I find them. Because certainly in the past, I've gone looking for things and it's taken me days to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So now when I do find things, I tend to bookmark it. But I would say it has in the last couple of years got easier to navigate.
Yeah, totally agree. There's such a huge amount of information there. It's just so difficult to find what you want because it's just massive.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's only when you start looking that you realize how much is there. Yeah. And I mean, it's a super resource. And I think, like I say, I mean, I pay my membership and I don't really think twice about paying it in terms, because I think for how little it equates to on a weekly basis, it's fantastic value for money.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody has any questions.
You got the dates right for the Festival of Work, Jude.
Yeah, I thought it was the 15th and 16th. Like I say, I've signed up for it. And I had that, but the minute you say it, you think, oh, is that right?
Is that still a virtual thing? Or
it's both virtual and face-to-face. Okay. So I've signed up for the virtual one. I think it's being held at Olympia, certainly in London somewhere. I think it's Olympia, but I reckoned that it's you can go to so many more things when you do it online than you can when you actually, because when you join online, you get all the sessions recorded.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go face to face, you can only get the ones that you attend. You can only see that.
Yeah.
And you've also got your flight or your train
Yeah.
fare and your accommodation as well. So for me, the online was a no-brainer.
And I think there's a huge variety of sessions as well, and like really unusual things as well. I've attended it once a couple of years, I think right at the start of the pandemic actually, and they had like mindfulness sessions and sort of getting you moving kind of sessions, as well as the normal CIPD sessions.
Yeah, the one at the start of the pandemic was the first one I went to, and I think they actually opened that up to everybody. I think that was how they did it, which is probably how I went, because I just think when we live where we do, traipsing down to London, you know, it's that's the benefit to me of having online stuff, is that you can join. But yeah, I agree that the first one I went to, I thought was brilliant, really good.
Oh, there was some slight technical hitches, but they managed to sort them out really quickly.
Yeah.
But the sheer breadth and variety of sessions was just mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
They did it really well.
Yeah. And I think, and we've also got the Scottish conference, which is coming up now. I want to say that's the 14th of September. I think, let me just double check. It's definitely September. I know that, but I think it's the 14th.
And that's going to be face-to-face as well.
Yeah, it is the 14th of September. And that's at the Edinburgh International Conference Centre. And that I would say is generally a good day out. And I mean, I've been lucky enough to go, well, it's obviously it was on virtually the last couple of years. But prior to that, I had been at maybe 3 or 4 of them, and it has always been a good day out and worthwhile going to. And I think they'll have extended, because they normally offer an early bird discount for that. They'll have extended that early bird. It'll go on probably until about July, I suspect. But worth checking the CIPD Scotland website for definite for that one. But yeah, loads of stuff. I mean, when I started looking at this, because you kind of think you know what's available, and then I was just scratching the surface of it, and you really could spend weeks looking through all the stuff.
Yep. Oh yes, absolutely. So hopefully when they're looking at it again, it'll make it easier to navigate and do the search, or use the search function. But yeah, it's a huge, I mean, that in itself is probably worth your membership.
Yeah,
I would have said.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, certainly, like I say, I know there's a range of different levels on the call tonight. But I mean, I say that to my students, you know, you've got such a wealth of information there. I actually see if I get students that don't give me a CIPD reference and for a, you know, I'm like, well, why wouldn't you use that? You know, genuinely, why didn't you look at it? You know, the journals, the fact sheets, all that information is literally there at the click of a mouse, and it's updated. So if something changes, it gets updated pretty much instantly.
Yeah. Yep. It is, yeah. I mean, with the coronavirus and everything, it was a great resource because they were so quick off the mark with everything there. I must have done a lot of weekend working when things changed with furlough on a Friday.
Yeah.
Up to date for the Monday.
Well, yeah, I mean, hats off to whoever did that content, because you're right, they turned it around in a record time. And I think, you know, somebody asked me about why it was available to everybody, and that was that, you know, the seatbelt analogy was the best thing I could come up with. That because it was unprecedented for everybody, I think they took the decision that morally it was the right thing to do, to give everybody access to the most accurate and up-to-date information possible.
Well, that's what the CIPD is all about, is champion better work and working lives.
Yes, totally.
It just sort of they lived up to that overall overriding strategy as well. So
Yeah.
pretty good, yeah.
One thing that I didn't mention, but I know from when we did the business planning, is in the past, when we've had our events, they've been open to members and non-members. And as of September, it's just members that can access them.
Really?
Yeah, that was in the business plan.
Can you still invite people along if you're a member?
I think that would be quite acceptable. I wouldn't have an issue with that. But I know when we were doing when we were doing the business plan, there wasn't the same option for members and non-members. It was just members.
I never picked up on that at all. So that's really interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I would have no qualms about inviting somebody. And I actually think it's a good shop window to see here's what the local branch can do. And I think, I've always thought that my membership, I got value for that from attending the branch events. So you'll have, we used to have 10, we used to have one a month. The last couple of years, we've had way more than that. And if memory serves, I think we were hitting about 26 or 30 for this year coming up when we've done it. Yeah.
That's including the book club and
I forgot about the book group.
Book group, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, that's quite embarrassing because I actually run the book group. There's a book group that meets once a month, and our current book is called it's Irresistible. It's
question for you, Jude. I know I'm hijacking this a little bit, but the book club, I mean, do you get sent the books or do you have to go out and buy them?
We've just, to be fair, there's only about 5 of us in book group and we just buy the books. So yeah, this month's title, it's definitely called Irresistible, and it's a guy called Adam. Hang on, I'll get it. It's on the kitchen table. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, it's called Irresistible, and it's by a guy called Adam Alter, Alter, and it's about the rise of addictive technology and the business of keeping us hooked. So we decided that we would give that a go, which, I mean, and we have part of I started it because I had somebody wanted me to do a bit of, or to do a questionnaire thing for them. And as we were talking, I mean, it was somebody on LinkedIn, can't even remember the girl's name, but she was down the South Coast somewhere. Anyway, that's totally irrelevant. And we were chatting when we finished the research that she was doing. And she said, she was away to book group. And I said, what are you reading? And it was some sort of like business book. And I was like, I expected it to be the latest, Richard and Judy book club thing. And she said, no, this is a business book group. And I thought, that's actually quite a good idea, because I'm really bad for buying books and then not reading them.
And this would make you read them.
Well, we've actually, in the past year, we've read about 5 books that I had already bought. So we alternate who picks the topics, and we've read stuff that I would possibly never have read. Well, even the books that I'd bought that I'd never read. So it has been really good. And it also, because you meet up to talk about it, it makes me read it. I'm much better with a deadline.
So it's a win on all sides for you, Jude.
Totally, yeah. And actually, do you know that there's been, like I say, I mean, this is probably quite sort of heavy, this Irresistible one. But we've read, my favourite one was one called Be More Pirate. And it was basically about pirates, but it was about how pirates as a community actually looked after each other. And they brought about the whole sort of philosophy of workplace compensation. So they did different levels. So if you lost an eye or you lost an arm or a leg, you got different levels of compensation, and they looked after people. And So whilst you think pirates are a pretty rum bunch, they actually had a very strong sense of
Code of conduct.
code of conduct, yeah, and sort of support. And what else? They maybe didn't like the other lot, their own people they really looked after. It was really interesting, and it was in. So that my pirate facts, I'm quite up on pirate facts.
I noticed, Edgar, you put your camera on. Are you wanting to ask a question?
No, the book club, I can highly recommend the business book club, because we've got one at work that have done quite a few books that are, I can highly recommend to anybody to join.
I wonder if it would be worth raising it with the CIPD to see if they're interested in doing a book club for us and sending us out books to review.
Ever want to try and get more for your membership? So, no, I suppose we could actually. I don't know that if any other branches do it. I'm not sure. And not all our are all our members. No, they probably all are in the Northeast now. But you know, that's something that could really be open to anybody, because it doesn't really matter where you are. We meet up once a month. Well, I say once a month. We probably do 9 or 10 sessions a year. We gave ourselves a bit of time off over the summer holidays, but we just do it over Zoom for an hour, and it's just good. It's a good for me. It's a good means of getting me to actually read. Because like I say, there's a deadline, so I have to finish it. Now I might spend 4 or 5 days before the deadline cramming it, because that's how I do everything. But I do read it. And like I say, we've read some good ones. We read Brené Brown. I'm trying to think. Normally I've got them kicking about my desk, but I've actually tidied them up, so I can't off the top of my head remember all the other titles. We did Daniel Pink. We did Start With Why.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody, there's nothing else in the chat box there, so I don't know if anybody else has got any other questions for Jude.
The recording will be available, so you can have a look at that. And if there is any, you know, if you do have anything that you want to ask, like I say, the best email address to get us on is the nscotland@cipdbranch.co.uk. But listen, thanks very much for your time. Nice to see you all. And I will let you get on with your, is it Tuesday evenings?
Yeah. Tuesday.
So nice to see you. Take care.
Thanks, Jude.
You're welcome. Bye now.